Welcome to a new episode of Third and Goal, and we are -1 as you can clearly see. But still, we're bringing the noise. First things first, though, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping and let you guys know we do have a new website, a permanent home for LitTube. It is thisislitTube.com. You can click the link, it'll be somewhere on the screen or in the information down below, but we will have quality content there, tons of articles, tons more videos, and of course you can follow us all over social media. But we are growing, bro.
Indeed we are.
We're doing big things. But nonetheless, this is another episode of Third and Goal, so let's get down to business.
Yeah, the first topic tonight is Lamar Jackson and his performance in his first start for the Ravens against the Bengals this last weekend. So, should I start with my analysis on this, or should we start with yours?
You can start with your analysis, because I feel like you're going to go the trend of all the trolls that I've argued with on Facebook this week.
I'm not sure about that. Okay, so first of all, before we even get into how he did during the game, I was kind of on the record saying that Lamar Jackson was a good draft pick for the Ravens, where they got him. I mean, right at the end of the first round, for a guy that has really great potential. I think if he stays healthy, he could be the next Michael Vick. I really think he could. But that's the question is, could he still healthy? Because this is a game where he rushed more times than any other quarterback going back to 1960.
I had to go way back for that stat.
Yeah. So, and there's actually Marvin Lewis after the game, after his team lost, decides to come out and criticize Lamar Jackson and floated out there, oh yeah, well, they beat us, but, he ran so many times, the quarterbacks that run don't last in this league. Well, you're kind of right on that, but at the same time, your team fucking lost. Maybe shut the hell up. But anyways, yeah, Lamar, he did an all right job. Did he run too much? I think it's safe to say he did. Did he throw some picks? Yes, he did. But he's a rookie. And, I always give rookies a pass in their first year. I don't judge a career by a rookie season. If I would have done that, I would have said Jared Goff was a bust, after he wet the bed his first year. You're allowed to wet your bed year one. That's how it goes when you're a rookie. Yep. Especially if you're not the number one draft pick or anything like that. So, yes, he was a first rounder, but, they traded back up to get him. You could kind of view him as a top of the second round pick at the same time. He wasn't an early first round pick. So that's that. He had an all-right game. He's a rookie. He needs to stop running so much. That's basically my analysis.
Yeah, to be exact, though, he ran 27 times for 117 yards. That's better than most running backs do. But on the flip side, though, he completed 13 of his 19 passing attempts for 150 yards. Yes, he threw the one interception. It sucked. But if you watch the game and you actually know football more than just, an average person, you would know that man did not have a line to save his life. And the fact that he is so athletic is probably what saved him, honestly. I was at the game. I watched it, and I've rewatched a lot of highlights. And a lot of the times he was on the run, probably because they called the play to pick the run, but also because they're getting through the A-gap. The blitz and linebackers are coming out the edge. I think Ronnie Stanley actually went out at one point during the game. So He's playing off a half-ass line, but he did his best. At the end of the day, they won. They put up a lot of yards. The running game, probably the best I've seen it in years. But again, in terms of Lamar Jackson, yes, he ran a lot. Who cares? Yes, he probably shouldn't be running 27 times. And like I've told many people, they didn't open the playbook up for him. I think they were playing with a half-ass playbook, a lot of quarterback draws, a lot of jet sweeps and play actions, a lot of option plays. Just kind of to mix it up. Just to really, I guess, essentially make him comfortable. Again, he did throw 19 times. That's still an okay amount of passes. But I definitely see Oakland this week. They're going to open the playbook for him. I think we're going to get a good look at who he really is.
Well, that's the other thing about this, though, is that Cincinnati's defense against quarterbacks is one of the worst in the league. Mm-hmm. Oakland is not going to be much better. In fact, they're probably going to be just as bad.
We won't have a pass rush to worry about.
So, I would expect Lamar Jackson to have good games here. Now, against Oakland, I think he needs to be able to put up more than 150 passing yards.
Yeah, I think that's you're going to see that. I think there's going to be a lot less him running the ball unless he has to escape a blitz somehow. and a lot more of him just being a game managing quarterback. And at the current moment, while he is still learning, because again, it is a different sport than when he was in college. This is a different sport, the NFL compared to college. So I think while he's still in transition, while he's still learning, I'm totally sold. We need to let him play. We have nothing to lose. As the Ravens fans, as the city of Baltimore, we have nothing to lose at this current moment but to just let him play. We don't need to have RG3 in. He's not the future, honestly. I don't believe in RG3 being the future quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. It is Lamar Jackson at the current moment. And I definitely think the playing time he's going to get this year, working in the offseason, getting him comfortable in the pocket, maybe even a new coaching staff, that's going to definitely, you're going to see a pivotal turn and see Lamar Jackson really turn up next year.
Yes, and like I said, I think Lamar Jackson has sky-high potential, but he's got to protect himself.
He does.
And we know, and I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but it's true. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you have a guy on your roster in RG3 that has already made this mistake. Now, again, I think Lamar Jackson has higher potential than RG3 ever did anyway, but the point is, you got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is Lamar Jackson getting an ACL in his first year when he didn't even play most of the year. I mean, that's just going to be really unfortunate.
Get out of bounds. Whatever you got to do it. Because you're right. And people are right on the internet when they say, oh, he ran too much. I'm going in my head. I'm like, we won a game for the first time since I got married. I think the last time we won was against the Steelers, the week before I got married. That was the last time they won. So, honestly, I'm not complaining here. People want to complain and say, oh, he ran too much, this, that, and the other. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You just can't make people happy.
Well, here's the thing about it also, is that, and he kind of did that in college, but college is a different animal because guys don't hit as hard, they're not as fast. NFL, dude, you got fourth string linebackers out there that can move and make big hits.
Yeah.
It's not college, you know what I'm saying?
You got to think, if you make it to the NFL, you are the best in your position by far. The odds of making it into college alone in a Division I school is tough. So then to go from Division I, where it's already tough there, to get to the NFL, I don't care who your backup is, whatever, that person is still one of the best players in the world at that position. So again, when you think about, I'm pretty sure Louisville was in the ACC. It's not the best division in college football. I'm not going to deny it. Lamar had some great games. He had amazing yardage. But this isn't the ACC. This is the NFL. And given what I saw Sunday, like you said, beating a dead horse, if he can stay healthy, this could be a start because he ran up against the Bengals and he actually made them bend. He beat the Bengals.
Well, let me pose one last question to you before we move on from this topic. Do you think that the Ravens should follow the same formula the Redskins did and kind of draft more of a pocket passer behind Lamar Jackson just in case something happens to him?
I think, honestly, at the end of the day, you're going to need a backup quarterback regardless because, again, I don't see RG3 in the long-term roster. I don't see Joe Flacco being resigned. So, again, yeah, I think maybe to switch it up, maybe a 4th-round, 5th-round quarterback that's good in the pocket. I could see that. Yeah. I think that's good. And then at the end of the day, it's one of them things where even still, you can help Lamar learn how to be better in the pocket. I don't think he ever had to be. Again, like you said, he never had to be in college. It's not that type of sport. But in the NFL, you do need to pass more. It's not like you could just run for 200 yards and pray to God you're going to get back into the game in the NFL. If you get too far out of it, you're done.
Right. And I think that, what the Ravens need to do in the offseason is, definitely do some make sure to work hard in training camp to get him to be a little more pocket, and also get him some new offensive linemen. I mean, you definitely need to draft some good offensive linemen.
If we don't draft an offensive lineman in the first round, I don't know what that team's doing. I mean, I'm trying to have faith in DaCosta. It's going to be his first draft this year coming up, so I honestly think they address having a solid offensive line, a few offensive linemen, and I think honestly, maybe a receiver. Throw it in there. Maybe a receiver.
We don't know how much longer Marshall Yanda is staying around. So.
Honestly, if you go by Madden, he retires after your second year. So
time to start playing it now.
Yeah, you got to get him out of there.
But what's our next topic now?
Next up, we are going to talk about probably one of the most gruesome injuries that I've ever seen. Alex Smith Now, if you guys didn't know, he broke his tibia and his fibula on a play where he was hit by J.J. Watt because he landed incorrectly. 33 years ago, to the date, Joe Theismann, former quarterback for the Redskins, suffered the same injury. Again, by another all-pro linebacker. So, it's kind of weird, that whole same exact situation. But, yeah, the injury that he suffered, they're saying this could possibly be a career-ending injury, and that's always sad.
Well, isn't that pretty much what happened to Theismann after that? That kind of like ended his career.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it very well could be. And Alex Smith is not by no means. I mean, he's an old quarterback now.
Yeah,
so
he's older.
It might not even be worth it for him to try to like rehab and come back.
It is sad though, because the Redskins were on a roll. I think I have a lot of friends that are Redskins fans, and for once they were pretty happy. Honestly, for the most part. I mean, the Redskins sat at the top of the NFC East. Again, they're playing Dallas this week. They have Colt McCoy as their starting quarterback, I think, right now, and Sam Bradford as a backup. But, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't think any of us really expected the Redskins to be sitting at the top of the division.
Ever.
I was one of those people that thought that it was going to be, somewhat of a downgrade getting rid of Cousins and getting Alex Smith, which really wasn't that much the case.
Wasn't.
I mean, they still were very competitive. But, I mean, now... hell, even if you make the playoffs, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. With Colt McCoy as your quarterback, I just don't see it.
And here's my thing also about Alex Smith. Alex Smith has proven himself. Because, you got to think. He was on the 49ers. He was okay there until Colin Kaepernick took his position. Then he went on to the Chiefs, and he was pretty decent there, too. And he went to the Redskins and rejuvenated the team as a whole. So you got a player in Alex Smith, and you got to give him credit where credit's due. This man can be dropped into any offense and just make the best out of the situation.
Well, he's the perfect game manager quarterback. Like, he does not turn over the ball hardly ever.
Ever.
That's the best trait about him, and the fact that he can run when he needs to. So, like, even at an old age, he was good at scrambling. Yeah. So he definitely had some qualities that made him an interesting player and a good starter. So it's going to hurt the Redskins. Can they actually make some noise in get into the playoffs and make some noise with just on the back of Adrian Peterson and a defense? I don't think they can, but hey, there's always a snowball's chance in hell.
And here's the thing: you also got to think about it. They're in the NFC East. Eagles are showing they're not the Super Bowl winning team they were last year. The Giants, they're a chicken with its head cut off running around. And Dallas is honestly maybe the next best thing in the NFC East right now. So I think this game Thursday on Thanksgiving, it's really going to show, can the Redskins survive? Who's really going to run the NFC East? I don't know. I just don't know. Again, you have Adrian Peterson somehow rejuvenating his career. But again, without a quarterback, unless Colt McCoy turns out to be a similar game manager and can at least prevent turnovers, I don't see the Redskins going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough because Colt McCoy has pretty much been a career backup, and he's more of a pea shooter kind of quarterback, doesn't have much arm strength. He just kind of, rolls around, makes short passes. He's just not an impact player. And again, they're going to have to, unless they can really get the running game going, I just don't see how they're going to go far.
Safe to say the Redskins are probably going to have to draft a quarterback. That or pick up, you guys can have Joe Flacco if you want him. I don't know.
Or if, the Bucks cut Jameis Winston or something, go after him.
Ooh, wow. That could be interesting. But yeah, next up I want to talk about the game of the year, probably the game of the century. Rams versus Chiefs. Like, who put Madden on rookie mode and just said, fuck it, defense. We're just going to go straight offense.
Dude, that's exactly what this game was. It was like, it reminded me of playing Madden on arcade mode. It's like both teams had put up a 50 burger. There's a couple fumbles that went for touchdowns. Like, it was pretty crazy, man.
It was wild. I was a little disappointed for Todd Gurley that he wasn't really as involved as I thought he would have been. But that's about the only complaint I could have in that whole game. But other than that, that game was.
I think the Rams just came off the game plan knowing they were going to be able to throw the ball on that team, and I think the Chiefs knew that too. They knew they're going to be able to throw the ball. 6 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, 200-yard day for Tyreek Hill, 100-yard game for Kelsey.
How's that Tyreek Hill pick I gave you?
Well, yeah, it was the perfect situation for me because I had Hill in fantasy, but still want to see my team win. So I got both things there. But but no, this game, and honestly, I did not. You remember the last pick show? I did not pick the Rams in that pick show.
Yeah.
I thought there was actually a pretty decent chance that the Chiefs would win that game. But no, I mean, they just barely lost.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I definitely think for sure that is a potential Super Bowl matchup. And I think if those two teams play again in the Super Bowl, it could probably be one of the best Super Bowls ever. Because they're just going to bring that heat again. Now, who wins the second time? I'm going to go with the Chiefs, but we're not going to pick that just yet. But, I mean, honestly, like, it was one of those games where it's like it wasn't slow. It's very fast-paced, high-scoring. One of those games you're just in it. You're just always in it. And I want to see them play again, honestly.
Well, the thing I also liked about it is that it wasn't like it was one of those games where there was no defense.
Mm-mm.
There were some defensive touchdowns in there.
Yeah.
There was some picks. Samson Ebukam had a pick 6 and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Aaron Donald had a monster game, but at the end of the day, it was mostly just a shootout with a couple of big defensive plays mixed in. And, I mean, when's the last time you saw a 50-burger for both teams in the NFL?
That's wild.
I don't know if that's even ever happened.
I don't think it actually has. That actually was the highest scoring game, I think, in NFL history, I think I read. Yeah. But it's one of those games also, changing of the guard games, where you see two of probably the great future quarterbacks. When people look back, 10, 15 years from now, they look back on the two of them like it's probably two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, honestly.
Well,
and they played like it. They played like it.
We never did an episode on Patrick Mahomes, which we probably should have. But I'm just going to plug it right here.
He's your boy.
I knew this guy was going to be an awesome quarterback. Now, granted, I didn't have the balls to draft him in fantasy, which I'm regretting.
Yeah, wow.
But I knew he had huge potential, and lo and behold, his first year as a starting quarterback, he's already killing it. I mean, this is just crazy. And then Jared Goff, I mean, I don't think Jared Goff is as good as Mahomes, but what he has is a strong supporting cast on both sides of the ball, and he doesn't turn over the football a lot, and he just works great with Sean McVay. So, like you said, two powerhouse teams, one which is, of course, my favorite team. I'm just hoping they don't get knocked off in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I think in the NFC, I don't really see anybody really stopping them.
Well, you said the Saints, and that very well could be
Saints,
a problem.
I think good NFC championship game matchup, probably them. But the way the Rams played the other night, I don't think lightning may strike twice this time. I think the Rams could pull out a win.
Well, and that's the thing. If we play the Saints in the playoffs, it's not going to be in the dome.
Not.
So I mean that
you're going to be in LA, probably. Chances are high you guys are going to have high.
Oh, one other thing I want to say about this Chiefs-Rams game, though, that I liked is that finally we had some fan support in that stadium.
Yeah.
Did you see all the white towels they're getting flown around?
You guys got your little terrible towel going.
What happened was this game was supposed to be in Mexico. And they last second moved it back, and they were like, all right, how we get butts and seats when we thought this was going to be in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So they gave, basically free tickets to all the first responders in the area.
Wow.
And, lo and behold, we actually have fan support instead of having a bunch of the away teams' fans in there. So I liked that, because I remember thinking back to the Green Bay game, some other games where the stadium was half filled with the away team, and it pissed me off.
Well, that's also another thing, I want to talk about, how is it, the Rams have been consistently good the last 2 years. You guys have been really good. Outside of, getting knocked off last year, whatever. You guys still went almost undefeated. This year, similar situation. Maybe it's just LA, it's California, maybe it's just the city itself, but I don't understand how there aren't more butts in the seats when your team's that hot.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you would think with the team having one of the best records and now the best record in the league, you'd have butts and seats. But the thing is, it's just one of those things where, you just relocate the team there. You don't have your new stadium yet. And I also think part of it is because the Chargers moved into the same city.
That's true.
And, so now you got, a split fan base on top of it.
Yeah, in LA, it's not that big of a football city, at least nowadays.
It's going to get there now.
It's going to get there. It's going to. I honestly think, as the Rams keep doing what they're doing, honestly, and staying consistent, you guys are going to have more Rams fans than away fans. But I'm excited to see that new stadium one day. That'd be cool. We should go. The Ravens play the Rams. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but LA is. It's basically like an art city first, right? You got Hollywood there. It's definitely more of an artsy city. Not maybe as big for sports, but Hopefully we'll get there because I don't want to see a bunch of Packers fans in the stadium next year. We're not trying to see that.
Just think of how crazy the Packers fans are. They traveled all the way to LA. That's pretty wild. Saturday already were there.
And they got nothing better to do.
Yeah, might as well get out of it. But that does it for us on our latest episode of Third and Goal. Again, we have a lot of new content out. We have the new website. This is LitTube.com. I can't say it enough. Yes. We have a couple of fight videos this week. We have the last ever pick show, and we will be premiering a new show come next week where we talk Baltimore sports. Well, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore, but primarily Baltimore sports. As for Justin, my name's Gerald. Stay tuned.
You gotta get it. This was always the plan.